It's finally come time to leave Borneo's cool mountains and head down into the hot lowlands to a site further east into Sabah. Our next destination is somewhat different because here we're going to be targeting just a single species of bird. However, this bird is so rare and beautiful that it's an opportunity that simply can't be passed up. At this village, the people have been working together to manage a new birdwatching destination that was recently discovered in the forest nearby. By preventing hunting and illegal logging, they can keep the bird habitat intact while generating income from the entrance fees that benefits the entire community. Protected forests are vital for the conservation of Borneo's rainforest biodiversity. Many species of birds can be highly sensitive to habitat disturbance and hunting, so it is important to keep these forests as intact as possible.
All right, today we're really going to get our feet dirty in the Borneo rainforest. We're heading off to a hide that's been built deep in the forest for one of Borneo's most special and rare birds, the Borneo Peacock Pheasant. Very, very beautiful, very difficult to see. This hide is about a half hour away through the forest, and we have to traverse up the hill a little ways to get there. Unfortunately, it's a bit wet today. Rain is coming, but as soon as we get into the hide, we should have some shelter, and with some luck, maybe the bird will come as soon as the rain stops. All right, there's the hide. Yeah. Looks like it's going to stop raining, and let's get inside before it does. Good timing. Yeah.
When you're on a shoot, you need to be able to rely on your camera gear functioning flawlessly. So it's important to keep everything clean and dry. The tropical climate of the rainforest is pretty rough on camera gear, and dealing with the oppressive humidity takes a bit of extra effort. It's usually necessary to store cameras and lenses with desiccants overnight, especially if you're spending every day in the rainforest.
We just arrived at the hide, and there's a present waiting for us. This is the feather of the male Bornean Peacock Pheasant, and you can see the incredible colors. Only the male has these colors. Incredibly beautiful. Probably the bird is not far away.
With the freshly fallen feather near our hide, it's certainly possible that the bird that dropped it is still close by. But we haven't heard any calls of the peacock pheasant yet, so there's no telling if we still have a long wait ahead of us.
It's worth mentioning that before this hide came to be, about 2 years ago, the only reliable place to see this bird was a very remote reserve in East Kalimantan, the Indonesian side of Borneo, for which I myself and a lot of other birders attempted to go to and try to see the bird. I spent an entire week there, and although I heard it, not even a single glimpse. I see it. It's too high for me. It blocked from this angle. I can see it a little bit.
Although not our target bird, it's always a pleasure to see the crested jay, one of the most unique looking birds in these forests. Wildlife hides are great tools to help us see some very shy animals, but they're not without their drawbacks. Just as birds can't see us, we sometimes can't see the birds unless they're anywhere but directly in front of us. This is why it's so important to know the different calls and songs of the birds that live here.
Great, you could tell. So
That's a great cheek bulbul or something. Oh, wait. Gone. I think it was great cheek. Oh yeah, gone that way.
yeah, they do have great.
This is the spiny hill turtle.
Oh, spiny hill, not
Yeah.
spiny shell. Oh yeah, I just saw it here.
David found it. It was just right there.
It was just right there.
Check out the pattern.
Yeah. Oh.
This is a still sub-adult. The older they get, they lose the spines. It gets more smooth. All right, well, some days are like that. We've been here since 10 this morning and no peacock pheasant. But we did see a fair number of other birds. We got crested jays, a couple flycatchers, some other stuff.
The hornbills we heard.
That's right,
Three
two species of
three,
hornbills. Oh, you're right, three.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about the rhinoceros. Not much left to do. I think we're going to have to come back tomorrow.
It's quite a stark contrast to the other hide, where at least you'd always see a bit of something.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
But that's the way nature is, you know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the bird's up to today, so we're going to give it a try again.
Sure.
So that's the end of our first day attempt at looking for the peacock pheasant. Unfortunately, we didn't get the bird, but that's the way it is in nature. If you want to go somewhere where you're guaranteed to see something, you're better off going to a zoo. Nature's like this. So, but never mind, we have another day to try for this bird, and we're going to head back now and come back early tomorrow morning, and hopefully we'll get something more than just a few leeches.
Although we didn't see the peacock pheasant today, we were able to photograph several other rainforest birds during our stay in the hide. Just as we were about to head into the forest for our second day, we heard something unexpected, the call of a very rare bird, the straw-headed bulbul. Although once a common species, this bird has disappeared over much of its original range because of its extraordinarily beautiful song. This has led it to be widely hunted for the captive bird trade. Unfortunately, we can't afford to spare time to look for the straw-headed bulbul right now, as we need to get back up to the hide for the best chances of seeing the peacock pheasant.
In Borneo, it's very, very hard. I think I can count the number of places I know this bird still is on one hand. It's tough.
Our local guide, Alfien, has told us that the peacock pheasant is more likely to come in the afternoon rather than the morning. However, because this is our last day here, we need to maximize our chances by getting to the hide as early as possible, despite there being rainy weather again. Although the use of hides for watching wildlife and birds has been around for generations, they are a relatively recent development in Malaysia. It takes a lot of time and planning to find the perfect site for constructing a hide, but if done well, it has the potential to be a great asset for sustainable nature tourism. Of course, even the perfect hide can never guarantee rare wildlife sightings every day, so it still helps to have a bit of luck and a lot of patience. Finally, after a day and a half of waiting, we hear the call of the peacock pheasant for the first time. We know it must be close by now, but will it show itself? Here it is at last, and we're in luck. It's an adult male. Our patience has finally paid off. After 2 days of waiting, we've been rewarded with a visit of an adult male Bornean peacock pheasant. At first, the bird was very shy and made its way slowly and cautiously to the clearing in front of our hide. Last year that I was here, of course, we weren't so lucky. We got to see the female, which was nice, but we didn't get to see an adult male with those beautiful feathers. So this is actually
really special for me. This is the first time I've ever seen this bird in its full adult plumage. Very exciting.
The light in the forest has been quite dim for photography, so it's important to check the photos to make sure we've got a sharp shot.
We just had an amazing encounter with the Bornean Peacock Pheasant. After waiting in this hide for nearly 2 days, we had a male peacock pheasant come out several times out of the forest and got some fantastic views of it. So the Bornean Peacock Pheasant, it's about the size of a small chicken. And it's amazing that a bird so beautifully colored can disappear so quickly in the rainforest, despite this incredible plumage. And there's a good reason behind that. These birds, they don't fly very well, and they probably can't outrun a very fast land predator. So the way they survive is by being extremely wary. And we were witness to this when we saw the bird today. The first time it came out of the forest, it was extremely furtive. It didn't want to stick around. It just peeked around out of the bushes, came out a little ways, and quickly ran into the forest again. And we can tell that it's being extremely careful. Even though it's come to this site and fed many times before, it can't be too careful because there could be predators. One mistake could be it's the end of it. So it needs to be extremely careful. If you're something edible, like a peacock pheasant, you have to watch for predators always. This is called a peacock pheasant. It's not a true peacock, of course, but peacocks, peacock pheasants, even the Argus and the bullwhist pheasant, another bird in Borneo, these are all in the same family, along with chickens, of course. So even though it's not a peacock, it's related. It's called the peacock pheasant because it has those brilliant metallic oscillations in the plumage, like a peacock. One of the reasons that it's so amazing to see the peacock pheasant in its natural habitat is because we don't know so much about this bird. There's a few locations only that it's ever been seen at, and truly, despite all the bird watchers traversing Borneo, we don't know its full extent, where it ranges across Borneo. We think it's probably in other areas, but it's probably quite restricted in its distribution and patchy. So sites like this are extremely important for its conservation, especially until we know more about its true distribution. And protecting sites like this become vital for the conservation of the species. That's why tying in the local communities is so important. When the communities realize there's a benefit to maintaining biodiversity, then they will take part in protecting it. They can prevent poachers from coming here, even warning wildlife officials if they see activity that shouldn't be allowed in this area. And this is how bird watching and bird photography can actually help in conservation, by working together with the communities and with the enforcement to make sure that these birds are protected in their natural habitat.